make you nervous. A tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster. A reckoning, you wonder how I got this way.
Hi guys, so I'm up at, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm sleepless. I have lots of sleepless nights since, I've had these nights before I was deported. But now that I've been deported, I do have a lot of sleepless nights. So this is one of them. So I'm just lying in bed and I'm thinking, what can I do with my time rather than waste time just being awake? I could make a video. And one of the things I thought about was other people out there in the world or in France, for example, who have been deported, who have received a letter like I did, and who have no idea what to do about it. And obviously, I'm not an expert on any of this. I mean, I'm still very sort of new at this kind of thing. I've never had this situation before in my life. I didn't even know that this was even possible to happen to me, honestly. And so I'm not like professing to be an expert. I'm just sharing my experience. And, if you are going through something like this, because apparently I just read in an article um, yesterday, I think, that France has increased by a lot the number of deportations that it is carrying out each year. So they're deporting a lot of people, right? So I'm sure there are other people out there who receive deportation letters and they don't know what the heck to do. Just like I didn't know what to do. I mean, when I first received the letter, I was so shocked. It took me 2 weeks to really wrap my head around what had happened. And I spent those 2 weeks crying and just, spinning my wheels. At first, I tried to actually move, to actually follow the order. It gave me 30 days to leave. And so what I did was I had my sister she sent me a small amount of money to try to start moving, like box by box. So I packed one box of stuff and I borrowed a big trolley from the man who takes care of my building. And I rolled this trolley to the post office. And it was a scene. I mean, if you saw me that day, you probably died laughing because it was a scene. Imagine this woman with this big box on this massive trolley. I could barely handle the trolley, right? But I mean, they told me I have to leave in 30 days. So I mean, I'm like, frantic, right? So I get to the post office. They weigh the box, and it wasn't that a huge box, but it was filled with some of my books. And I mean, I don't remember exactly how much she quoted me, but it was a ridiculous amount of money. It was if I recall, it was something in the region of 600 or 700 euros to send that box to the United States. And at that point, I realized there's no way that I can, um, I can do this. There's no way that I can ship my things box by box to the United States. And then when I came back and I did some research on moving companies, the quotes I was getting were like in the region of like 5,000 euros. There's no way I could do that either. So another thing that was in the deportation letter from the prefecture was that there was this office called OFI, and that I might qualify for aid from OFI. So the modal verb was you might qualify. It didn't say that you did qualify. You might qualify. But I assumed, okay, I'm poor. I don't have money. You're sending me. You're expelling me. You're deporting me because I'm poor, because I don't have money. So clearly, I'm gonna get aid, right? So I go to this place called OFI, and the woman took one look at me and she told me that we don't help Americans. Americans don't qualify. We don't help Americans with this type of a procedure, right? So then I came back home and I was like, holy crap, I have to fight. I have to fight this, right? So now we're 2 weeks into a 30-day notice. And by the way, I didn't have 30 days because the deportation letter I received was dated October 31st and it was served to me in November. I'm not going to sit here and say that I remember the exact date in November. It was the first week of November. But in any event, I really didn't have 30 days. I probably had more like 25 days, right? And I've lost 2 weeks with crying, with packing books, with trying to move books, with going to OFI, this and that. So then by the time I decided that I have to fight, I really didn't have a lot of time. And one of the first things I did was I wrote a letter to the Minister of the Interior, right? And I did a video about that because he has never responded, and it's going on 5 months that I sent an urgent letter to him. And I followed up with a second letter to him, also by certified mail, and possibly a third. I may have sent up to 3 letters to him. I also sent um, emails to the office of the Ministry of the Interior. And I also went on to the website of the office of the Minister of the Interior and filled out that form and all that. So I did a lot to get his attention. His name is Bruno. I can't say his last name right now. I have to be because I'm not like at my desk. But I did a video about that because I do think that the least he could have done or his office was respond to my urgent request for help. But still, if you are going through something like this, I still think it's important to send these letters, have your receipts, even if you don't get a response, right? Because what if you don't send them, what they're going to do is say that you never asked for help, right? So you have to send these letters to the Minister of the Interior. So you get online if this has happened to you. You find the website for the Minister of the Interior in France. He's located in Paris, and you send certified letters and make sure you have your receipts from these certified letters, okay? And send emails. I mean, you do all of that. And even with OFI, but with OFI, you definitely have proof. You have proof, but you don't have proof. Because to get into the OFI building, you need to have an appointment. And that is done through email. You have to email them. Then they send you a date and time to go in. And so that's your proof, right? But you don't have proof of what they tell you in the meeting because they don't put anything in writing. I asked for something to be put in writing. I didn't get anything, not even the name of the woman I spoke with. But what I did get was, we don't help Americans with these proceedings. But it's still important for you, if you're in a situation, to go through all of these steps. Listen, I'm going to run out of space. I can't save a long video. But what else should you do? You definitely have to go onto the court's website, the telerecord.france, and you have to start your case. If you can get a lawyer, like really, actually, the first thing you should do is get an immigration lawyer. But if you're like me and you can't afford a lawyer, which there are a lot of people like that, you have to try to start the case yourself. And it's not hard to do, at least start the case, because that will stop the clock. Once you file a case with the court, and you can do this online, or you can do this by going to the court with your documents in person, or you can send it by mail. It's really up to you. But you need to get a case filed immediately with the court. I have to stop here. I'll continue this in another video.
I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning, you wonder how I got this way.